Alright, so let me spill the tea because it's getting messy out here. Jay Prince should have just sat back and enjoyed his plate instead of sticking his nose into the Drake and Kendrick Lamar drama. Now, he's getting dragged up and down the streets of Houston for his shady dealings. Jay Prince has been running things in Houston for ages, but the minute he dipped his toes into this beef, folks who knew his dirt started airing out his business like never before.
Jay Prince gets asked, how does he feel about Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us Drake diss? So you had Jay Prince walk in, somebody stopped him and asked him, like, Jay Prince, how do you feel about Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us song? You know what I'm saying? It's the biggest song in the country, right? That boy Jay Prince look was like, man, get out of here with that, right? Like, damn. Boy, Jay Prince wants the nightmare to be over himself, right? Y'all know Jay Prince is one of Drake's biggest supporters, if not the biggest supporter. Is between Birdman and Jay Prince, right? You know, Jay Prince been rocking with Drake for a long time, you know what I'm saying? Every time Drake gets into a situation, Jay Prince is there to, defuse the situation. But there was nothing Jay Prince could do about this L. There's nothing he can do about it. Not Like Us is the #1 song. And Drake took the L, and he's no longer considered the top rapper right now. That would be Kendrick.
Word on the street is that he's been playing handler for Hollywood elites, allegedly taking out rappers on orders from some powerful figures. And guess what? SchoolBoy Q is out here ready to drop receipts on the whole operation. So y'all remember when SchoolBoy Q rolled up in Houston this month, right? Turns out it wasn't just for a show. He came with a mission. And honey, he did not hold back. He straight up clowned Jay Prince Jr. and that whole outdated checking in nonsense that Jay Prince Sr. loves to push on visiting rappers. And let's be real, the whole concept of checking in is beyond tired. But apparently, Jay Prince is still out here trying to extort cash from rappers, and even allegedly costing lives. It's a mess, y'all, and it goes way deeper than hip-hop. Let's take a trip down memory lane. But before we do that, did you know Kanye jumped on the beef?
Kanye posting this on his Instagram recently is indeed a diabolical diss to Drake. So Kendrick Lamar was featured in that song by Kanye called No More Parties, but it's not that simple. That Kendrick Lamar verse is considered one of Kendrick Lamar's greatest verses of all time. So Ye posting that is basically telling Drake, you don't want this action. And if you think you want this action, go back and listen to this song. In fact, Kendrick went so crazy in that song. Kanye started his verse off by saying scary. And then Kanye proceeds to have one of his greatest verses of all time because he was so inspired by how crazy Kendrick went. Y'all feel what I'm saying? He says in his song, the writer's block is over, MCs cancel your plan. That's what Kanye said. Kendrick Lamar took Kanye out of a writer's block because he had a verse that was so hard. I understand how hard you gotta go on a song. Anybody like this finna be a competition? Guys, I want you to realize something. The only reason I could think of that Kendrick is this mad is because you guys have uttered his name in the same sentence as people he thinks that are less than him in his craft. And that made him this mad. You can't win against somebody like that. And I could kind of see where he's coming from. If Paul Pierce hits me up and goes, man, me and Jordan was the GOATs, and Jordan started throwing hands with him, I'm going to tell Paul, you might have deserved that one, bro.
This extortion game ain't new. It traces back to 18th century Italy with the mafia running the original pay up or else scheme. When the mafia set up shop in the US, cities like Chicago, New York, and Philly were shaking in their boots. And it wasn't long before American street gangs caught on and brought that same energy into hip-hop. Big names like Tupac and Eazy-E were getting shook down by shady groups like the Jewish Defense League, who were making death threats and then turning around and offering protection. At a price, of course. Fast forward to now, and street gangs are still pulling the same stunts. Rappers have to check in, pay up, or risk getting robbed, or worse.
Did you come across, the whole Drake situation?
But I have to give credit to my son on that one. That was Jazz Prince. You know what I mean? He felt real strongly about Drake, even though, I tried to discourage him and get him to move to something else, but he was a student in rap a lot when he was a kid. I had him there. I didn't leave him at home, and had him doing a bunch of other stuff. I took my boys to the office and I allowed them to work and learn different things. And one of the most important things that he learned that made him embrace Drake was a buzz. You know what I mean? He heard me on marketing calls every week getting on people's asses about what's buzzing in your town. What's find the buzz. And he found the buzz on, what was that, Facebook, whatever that was.
Yeah, MySpace.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where Drake was concerned. And, you know, he used those words to me after I was trying to discourage him. He buzzing, Daddy. Trust me on this one. He buzzing. And that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that was our lingo.
Yeah.
Find the buzz.
Yeah.
And from there, I just gave him the directions, man, on, you know, let's fly him here in Houston. Let's take him back out on tour with you with Lil Wayne this time. You know what I mean? And have Lil Wayne to put his arms around him on stage. I mean, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
Let me remind you of the time Kanye West almost got caught up in some mess in Philly. He was just trying to grab a meal when some shady dudes showed up, making it clear they were targeting him. Kanye had to hide his jewelry and keep a low profile until Beanie Siegel came through to squash the situation. And don't even get me started on Trick Trick in Detroit, who created the infamous no-fly zone. If you weren't paying respects and dues, you weren't performing in Detroit. Period. But back to Jay Prince. He's been trying to flex his power for a minute, but folks are getting tired of his antics. Remember when NBA YoungBoy's crib got robbed in Houston? Jay Prince tried to make it seem like he was the hero, offering to return the stolen goods. But NBA YoungBoy wasn't having it. He went off, letting everyone know he wasn't here for the public stunts. And speaking of stunts, let's not forget about Migos' Takeoff getting killed in Houston, while allegedly under the protection of Jay Prince's son. The streets are buzzing, with rumors that Kendrick Lamar might have thrown some shade at the Prince family in his track Euphoria. But who's really spilling the tea? SchoolBoy Q, who's not here for the checking in nonsense and is ready to expose the whole game for what it is. A cap. It looks like Drake thought he had Houston on lock with Jay Prince in his corner. But when he tried to mess with SchoolBoy Q by getting his shows canceled, it backfired big time. Jay Prince didn't have Drake's back, and SchoolBoy Q made sure to let Houston know it. So, while Drake is out here getting exposed, Jay Prince is getting dragged, and SchoolBoy Q is sitting pretty, spilling the tea for all to see. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know what y'all think. We'll definitely do a part 2 on this.